Hi there, this is Donna Friends, and today we're having a motivational time. And what's on my heart is an Aesop for children, the Hare and the Tortoise. Check this out. Especially those of you who haven't read your nursery things in a long time. I haven't. This literally came to my mind, and I haven't thought about this in a long time. A hare was making fun of the tortoise one day for being so slow. See the picture? Do you ever get anywhere? He asked with a mocking laugh. Has anybody ever mocked you? Does anybody mock you? Do you feel like somebody mocks you? Do you feel like, or is the inside of your heart mocking you because you feel like you're going through too slow, or somebody else is going faster than you and you feel like, well, you're way behind? Yes, replied the tortoise, and I get there sooner than you think. I'll run you a race and prove it. Ooh, that was very brave of the tortoise, don't you think? The hare was much amused at the idea of running a race with the tortoise, but for the fun of the thing, he agreed. So the fox, who had consented to act as a judge, marked the distance and started the runners off. The hare was soon far out of sight, and to make the tortoise feel very deeply how ridiculous it was for him to try and race with the hare, he lay down beside the course to take a nap until the tortoise should catch up. Also, do you ever feel like somebody has just an attitude with you? You know, that little private intention that you can sense from their energy. They have just a little bit of attitude with you, and you're wondering, what did I do wrong? That you're like either pushing back, they're pushing back on you, or something's happening and you feel it. And, you know, I'm not saying to condemn them even or judge them even for their energy, but I'm telling you, you have to have your own energy to combat those things. If you get hurt easy, if you feel like you're in a competition all the time with everybody else but yourself, you're going to set yourself up for a fall. You're going to be discouraged and you're going to give up. And let me tell you something, with this business, I have almost given up now 4 times. And you know, if you know me, you know that when I make a decision, that's it. I've come so close to the edge of literally saying, I'm done with this. I'm out of here. Forget this mess. And I had to just stop. And I knew inside of me, it was like, okay, Donna, are you going to be reined in by other people's thoughts and ideas and what they think about you, or what you think they think about you? Or are you going to do this because I want you to do it? Are you going to do this because you want to do this? And I, each time, have really had to stop. And I'm going to be honest, if you know me, you know, I'm all about the health, and I'm all about us like helping humanity. That's my heart, you know? But at the same time, God told me months ago that he wanted to heal my tainted view of finances. He said my relationship with money was tainted. What a strong, strong statement to hear on the inside of you from the one who made you. And I'm like, wow. Because, you know, I come from the background, just give everything away. Let's just be ministry, you know? And so for me, I think God had to just bring me into some balance so I can see that money is not evil. It is when it grabs a hold of you and rules you and owns you, and it causes you to be greedy, is when it causes it to be an evil tool in your life versus a positive and helpful and useful tool in our lives. Not just to be useful for everything that's only productive, but also to go out and have a good time, to have a nice meal, to take a good vacation, that the money that we are earning is good to earn. So he needed to do that. So what did he do? He started showing me how I was earning a stronger income, more and more and more. But guess what? I would not have seen that had I given up. Had I stopped at the 2-month mark, at the 4-month mark, at the 5-month mark is when I started seeing things change inside my physical body. I would have missed that. And then I would have missed the increase in my income had I given up. So I'm encouraging you, Don't give up. Now let's see how what happens in the rest of the story. It's just a little bit left, but just think about this. I'm gonna reread this again. The hare was soon far out of sight, and to make the tortoise feel very deeply how ridiculous it was for him to try and race with a hare. Mind you, the hare wants him to feel ridiculous. He lay down beside the course to take a nap until the tortoise should catch up. The tortoise, meanwhile, kept going slowly but steadily, and after a time passed the place where the hare was sleeping. But the hare slept on very peacefully, and when at last he did wake up, the tortoise was near the goal. The hare now ran his swiftest, but he could not overtake the tortoise in time. The race is not always to the swift. Listen, you may think you're behind, but you're not. And you may want to give up. Don't do it. Do not let the thoughts in your head rule you. Do not let the thoughts in your head rain, R-A-I-N, poo-poo all over you and make you feel like you can't move forward, make you feel like you're never going to become anybody, make you feel like you're never going to make money, make you feel like, well, nobody can be proud of you because look at you, you're not doing good. Listen, some of us have strong responsibilities, and those responsibilities are important. And also, on the other hand of that, I want to say this, that there's also nothing wrong with running after the money. And this is why, because in this kind of business, in this particular kind of business, the more money you make means the more people you're reaching. That's the difference in this kind of business. The more money you make really truly is, the more people you are reaching. And so I'm going to give you an example of something. To me, working in your own nooks and crannies is how you have to do this. Now, I am doing this full time. And honestly, I can't remember the last time I had food in my refrigerator. We have been doing what's convenient. I've been calling Instacart or Jen. I've been, Craig has even started using Grubhub or one of those places, DoorDash, whatever, to bring in dinner. Why? Because Donna's working full time. But why? Because Donna's bringing in a strong income. And so we're now devoting some of the money that I'm bringing as income to pay for those things. Okay, so that convenience fee I'm paying is producing more income by my working than had I stopped for 3 hours and create the kind of meal I want to create. Although Cindy, precious one, will tell me how to do the very thing that I do in 3 hours, she can do in 20 minutes. So I'm still learning. So anyway, this is what I want to encourage you with, your nooks and crannies. Look at your own nooks and crannies. Look at your own life. And sometimes your lives are unpredictable. Sometimes you might be on your way somewhere and bam, the person you're with has an accident. The person you're with has something that causes you to be totally out of, you have to start all over. And you're like, what the heck? I'm never going to get out of here. Those things happen too. But at the same time, that's your nooks and crannies. And God knows that. God knows your nooks and crannies. So don't be discouraged when you get stopped in the middle of where you're going. Why? Because God anticipates that. And guess what that means? That means that when you get where you're going, that's when you're supposed to be there and not before. You think you're supposed to be there XYZ time and you think you're going to miss something. But that doesn't mean you're going to miss it. And I'll give you a little example. The other day, I did a convenience fee to California Pizza, and I got their salad that is so wonderful. It's all vegetables and healthy things. And I had to drive 11 minutes from my health appointment back away from my house to go to this place, get out. I sit for a few minutes to finish something. I'm kind of lollygagging, wonder why am I lollygagging? But I'm like, okay, I'm hungry. I got to get something to eat. So I go inside, I place an order to go. I get them to hep to because they're being all slow. And I'm like, come on, I got things to do. I'm pulling Cindy, the Nazi. I'm like, come on, I got things to do. Come on, I need you to get the food. Let's move. And so they're helping me. They're stepping up to the plate. I'm being kind, you know me, I'm being kind, but I'm like, let's go. I've been in this industry. Give me my food. And so guess what happens while they're lollygagging, while I'm finally there, while I'm wanting to get me something to eat, they give me something to eat. I go outside to eat it while I'm waiting for my food. And then when I go back inside, there's a lady there. She and I start talking. Guess what? I wouldn't have been there otherwise. Well, guess what? We start talking, and guess what? I got to give her a 5-day supply of patches. I got her name and her phone number and her picture in my phone. We had a great exchange, and I'll be following up with her this week. So had I taken another road, that wouldn't happen. What was in my heart is what took me to that place, was to eat lunch. But what was the other reason I was there? Because God knows my income, and God knows her heart, and God knows what she's dealing with physically, and God knows she needs help. So God sent me there to help her at the same time. So you see, it marries. Our nooks and crannies will marry. And so you take a deep breath and give yourself grace, not grease, no more grease. Give yourself grace to be where you are while on the way to where you're going. You cannot be where I am on the way to where I'm going, even though we may meet along the way and we may meet at the finish line. I can't be where Cindy is while on the way to where she's going. Sandy, Jen, Dawn, we all each have a different life. We have different responsibilities, but God knows that. So I'm asking you to just look at your look and write down some things. Write down, these are my nooks and crannies. And if your nooks and crannies change, for instance, I know my sister's nooks and crannies change. My sister has been caregiver of our other sister, which has been a challenging, beautiful, creative way to live life as a caregiver, right? Loving someone enough to live out life with them. It's not been the easiest road. She has shared with me that she's not regretted it, but it definitely was more than she knew it would become, right? We make decisions when we're younger that we don't know what they'll end up being later. So that nook and cranny, that river she's chosen, God is going to bring increase, because as she honors where she is while she's on the way to where she's going, God's going to bring the people right to her doorstep, right next door to her. God's going to bring her the people to increase her income so that in her latter days, she can have what's in her heart. She has dreams in her heart. So I hope that this helps you in some way, shape, or form. Okay, second thing I want to share with you today is I spent some time with Marcy in California. She was actually sick for most of the time. And then when she wasn't sick, she was with us. And so I was able to learn a few things. And so this isn't that much different than what she shares in Power Hour, but I felt like what I want to do is I want to work with those of you that want to work with me to be consistent and accountable on a regular basis. And so this time we'll have a short devotional, and then we'll set our goals, and we can do working Zoom as well, or we can change it up as we go along. So what I want to share with you is what I did. I've created now, I'm basically starting over. So I'm now an executive director, which means I have over 50,000 points and I have directors in place. Okay. But to me, it's not about the rank. It's about the income. So I am making a decent income now. It took like 8 months. And now I'm in the 10 month, and I can see at June, end of June is my year anniversary. And so it took time for residual to kick in, but I'm in residual now. And so I want to encourage you that you too can be a residual if you don't give up. And so let's be strategic. So this is what I did. You can do it your way if you want, but I'm going to do it this way. I created a new book for my list. It's the new book, brand new book. I have 2 other books full of names, but now I'm starting over on purpose. I also created, I created a book for training where I'm going to do my training with y'all, but I'm also going to, Power Hour, I'm going to take notes on Power Hour. I'm going to take notes when anything I go do with regards to our business, where I'm taking notes, I'm going to put them here so they're not scattered in between my to-do list, which gets crazy. You go, girl. See, some people already got it together, but some of our minds need some help. Also, I'm making a left side list for those people that are on my left. And I'll have those that want to really, truly grow and want to share. I'm not saying build a business, although it is about building a business. Okay, it is. But those that want to share the patches, that is important. Sharing the patches is important. And if they want to share the patches with intention, I want to help them share the patches with intention. So this is where I'll be writing down names, their addresses and phone numbers, or taking what's given to me. This is a list of a new person, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to place it in here, along with however my follow-up and follow-through is. So I'm going to write down my list, and then I'm going to go 10 pages in or so, and I'm going to have a little place for that person's name, and I'm going to start doing follow-up on those people. So we've already closed 2 of these that are on this, and she only gave this to me like 3 days ago. So she connected them with me. I talked with them. They got on the patches. That's the follow-up. And then I'm going to do, if I have to do a gift, if we get to do a gift, whenever I do the gift, I'm going to have a page for that as well, gifting, so that we know the gifts that went out. And then guess what? Then we do the follow-up. We do follow-up with those giftings. So I'm going to have that for each person in here. And then if one of those people on that list ends up becoming a distributor, ends up wanting to build a business, they will be added in here. Or, hold on, I also have a right side. Some of you on here are on my right side, some of you are on here on my left side. And I'll be doing the same thing. I'm gonna share one more thing and then I'm gonna turn it off. This is a new person. I have a book for her. Why? Because I've got 2 lists already from her, 2 more lists from people underneath her that literally are already sharing the business. I need a book just for her to keep up with her. And so what I want to share about Linda is this. Linda lives in the middle of Nebraska. Linda is just now getting a computer. Linda doesn't have strong internet. Linda doesn't even know how the money works. Linda understands enough about the product to say this: hi, this is my friend Donna. I would like you to talk with her. She's going to share with you about the patches I've been telling you about. And then I've been talking to all her people. She became a manager within a few days, and already twice she's won free X39s from the gifting program that Charity has, which is sell 5 silvers or above in 7 days. And she's been doing this just for a short time. So I have to have a list for her. But let me tell you how she's doing this. Listen to me. She's doing this in her Nooks and Crannies. She works full time. She has a grandkid she takes to school. She has someone else from Italy that is an exchange student that's living with her that she's celebrating all the time. They live in 2 different homes. She's an EMT driver. She has nurses she meets with. Listen, the woman is busy and the woman is productive, and she's also doing this business in her Nooks and Crannies. She's going belly to belly with people. She's going to talk to people, and she puts them on the phone with me in their house. So that's how she's doing business in her town of 2,500 people, 2,500 people. And now she's just found a couple people she thinks are going to want to not just use it, but share it in her Nooks and Crannies. So you'll have to have a list for someone that really, truly starts building. Okay, I'm ready for questions. Do you think the question would be something we could use to record, and do y'all mind to be recorded? Is that all right? Go ahead, Cindy, unmute, because that way others can hear as well.
I think you already answered it, but your left and right side notebook, those were people that you personally enrolled on your left side or personally enrolled on your right side, right?
They are people I've personally enrolled, or the people I've personally enrolled have personally enrolled. For instance, Dawn is on our call here. Dawn is under Margie, who's under Jill, who's under Craig, who's under me. So I don't have a list for Margie yet because Dawn is under Margie already. So I've been working with them. And then let's say I started working with, there's a woman in Mexico. If she began to build, I would just have one that says Mexico, because that ships to a whole different country. I have another person who's moved to the UK. I will probably have one that says UK when she starts building in the UK, because that will be easier for my brain in keeping up with things and keeping up with people and keeping up with shipping and all those kind of things, you know, because the shipping is a little different. When you go there, you have to change it to make sure it goes to the right country and all these different things. So does that answer your question? Anybody else have a question? or a thought, feel free. Sandy, you want to talk? Look at her, she's laughing. Jen, you want to say something? Dawn, you want to say something? Go
I'm
ahead.
absorbing what you said. I'm taking it all in.
Yeah, so you're the tortoise and you're the hare. Right?
Right.
There are some things that you have to go slow and methodical in, otherwise it'll turn into a hot mess.
Yes.
And then there are some things you know how to do so well because they're just part of who you are. It may take you a little longer just because the way your brain thinks. Like when I clean the house, if I clean the house, when I clean the house, the whole house is a mess at one time while I clean it. Versus someone else I know who cleans house, they clean one room at a time. Well, that doesn't work for me.
Me either.
I do it all at one time, right? You know, and that's why it's wonderful when you have a team that comes in and they can just, they have 5 people that come in, they all do a different room and then they're gone in an hour. I'm like, rock on, all more power to you. Please do. Here's my money. Thank you. Jen, do you have something, honey?
I was just going to say that I also just started the 2 notebooks. I was waiting to finish my finish my last one first, but that's helping me keep my notes on things from my people and follow-ups and such, because follow-up has been an area that I'm trying to strengthen on timely follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
And so that, yeah. And then also I forgot that the Hare was the one who actually challenged to the race. And that was really sticking out to me.
You mean the tortoise?
Oh, the tortoise did? My bad.
No, the hare did.
No.
Okay.
Oh, the tortoise did.
The tortoise did. That's what.
Oh, well, never mind. I got it mixed up. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's
I was
okay.
inspired by the wrong thing. That's all.
Well, I thought it was brave. But you know what? Whatever inspires you is God speaking to you. So if God dropped something in you, then take that and see what he shares with you about it. That's completely relevant. It could have been the Hare if he had been full, high and mighty, to challenge. I mean, I don't know that. Yeah, that would be an interesting turn. And then in this case, it was a tortoise who knows he plod. He's like, well, I'll run a race with you, because he knew the characteristic of the Hare. He knew the Hare was running all over the place doing nothing. He only looked busy, but he wasn't really productive. To me, that's one of the stories in this.
That's a word.
It sounds like the tortoise then already had the mindset in every area. It wasn't just a one-time race. He had already taken the time to observe and to know who he is and to know everybody else's strengths and weaknesses and all of that. While the Hare was only about himself.
Mm-hmm.
That's a word.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
But yeah, looking at, just speaking about myself, I can look like I'm busy, but, I make my list of 10, and in the middle of making my list of 10, I'm cleaning house or doing Betty or cooking or whatever it is that I need to do. And, I look busy, but at the end of the day, I look at it and I go, you didn't have to clean house. The cleaning house didn't make you any money. You should have been on the phone, or you should have been making your list or trying to go out and talk to people or follow up or whatever. Somebody in one of our trainings said, or maybe it was in that book, that you do the things that make your money first, and then you do the other things that you have to do, but you have to set that priority.
Well, I bet that's a person that doesn't care for their sister or their elderly parent or their baby in diapers. I bet the person who said that either has a system in place in their own heart regarding their own personal responsibilities already. So that's nothing,
Mm-hmm.
So I want to encourage you, maybe if you just put a couple of tools in place. For instance, what if when you have your phone with you, what if while you're cleaning house, that's when my mind is open, when I'm driving, when I'm doing something, all of a sudden I have these things drop in, right? What if you just voice text on your notes section, or stop real quick and write it down? Call such a witch. Hey, call such a, oh, new idea. Da, 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 da. Or voice yourself. Hey, da, 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 da. Hey, I want you to do this, 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 and this. Or, hey, I'm thinking about this, 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 and this. And then just keep cleaning house, because you thrive when your house is in order. And when your house is not in order, you have pieces operating all the time because you feel like it needs to be straight. But that part of that is to help you have clarity, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Part of that is clarity. What you got, Dawn?
I was just, when you do the follow-up calls, when you call somebody, do you automatically have you on the call, or do you call them first and introduce them and then put you on the call, or how do you do that?
Well, you know what? Linda's done it several different ways. She's pretty bold. Now, she's a breast cancer survivor. And so she's faced some things also. She's lives on a ranch, in a ranch type situation. Like, they've raised horses, they've done all sorts of things, right? So they're community people like y'all, you're belly to belly people too. So she'll go to somebody's house and say, hey, Isla, I've been wearing these patches. I want to talk to you about them. And then she'll literally just, I'm going to get Donna on the phone so she can share with you more about it. And she calls me right there. Now, when you start doing that, I suggest we have several people in mind. So for instance, I know she's going to be calling me today at 10. She's going to be a specific person's house. And she's already said, hey, can you be available at 10 to talk to such witch? I'm like, and I put it on my calendar. I'll be available at 10. So she's on my calendar, right? But she has called me out of the blue multiple times. And I guess it's just God's grace that I happen to be available, because normally I'm on my schedule. And so you know the product well enough to really do it yourself, but sometimes that other person helps. So I would have in text mode, like I put up with her, I put me, Charity, Ann, and April all in one text together. And I said, hi, I was going to be gone for a week. I said, I'm going to be gone for a week. I don't know my availability. Can we all work with Linda? They're like, sure. So Linda's had April on the phone a couple times. I think Ann on the phone, me, and Charity. So it's like, okay, I'm not available. She'll say, hey, are you available at such a witch? And I'll say, nope, I'm not. Da, da, da. Oh, I am. I'll be there. Oh, awesome. And so we could do it like that, so that we're all in one text, instead of texting individual people. Hello, are you available? Hello, are you available? Hello, are you available? Hello, are you available? No, one text with all of us on there, so that we can all reply, and then we can rock on.
That's a great idea.
So if that'll help. So I'm happy to, especially when we start, like, okay, I've got these, like I got this list going here. Now I am working with her right now just with these. So I haven't sent these to anyone because these aren't builders yet, right? And she doesn't know literally nothing. She's watched nothing. I think I sent her the binary tree training to help her at least get an idea, so she can get some kind of structure going. But yeah, if you want to do that, let me know and we'll work on that. And then Sandy today, we'll see what else we do right here, but then within this time frame, if we can, we want to do what we talked about. Does that answer your question, Dawn?
Yes, thank you.
So if you want to
Thank
do that, I'll text all of us at one time for you and say, hey, Dawn's on this thread with us because she's going to be moving and grooving and see if any of us are available. I'll do that with each one of us. I've got no issue with that. And then whoever one of us is available, we can work on that. How's that? Just text me and let me know, say I want that or whatever. And then I'll just,
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. Cindy, you have anything?
You're muted. You got to unmute.
Yeah, sorry. For some reason, my finger was pushing the wrong thing. Yes. Gosh, that was so good, Donna, everything you shared. I think when you were talking, I was just thinking about, as far as goals, and I just always think about I think the nooks and cranny is so important, because I think we tend to think, well, I've got all this going on. It doesn't matter. And that's okay. We don't have to put everything aside. It's like you said, this is a perfect business to work in your nooks and crannies. If you do it full time, great. You can do either. But I just always think, okay, I was kind of like Sandy. I think you get distracted sometimes, but I just was thinking, what can I do to be more productive, or what do I need to give up? What is really not benefiting me? Just kind of go back. I just always like to just reflect for a minute on my own week, just kind of say, okay, what really helps me that I'm doing? Like, I want to keep that, and what is really not, and then just try to be effective with the time I have, not beat myself up over if all of it doesn't get done, but make a plan. Because if you don't plan, what is that? If you don't plan then you plan to fail.
That's right.
But I just always like that, because I think, I can do a lot of things by the seat of my pants. I mean, I can just move it, but I'm going to see, to me, like the tortoise, if I would do more planning and then block that, all of that stuff helps me get to the end. I might not go as fast, but it's more satisfying.
Yeah.
Because there's a part of me that says, oh, and I kind of look, I had that lit and I did that. Yay. I mean, those little check marks, it just makes you feel good about how you're moving forward in your business. Does that make sense?
Oh,
So you kind of build your confidence too, that you can follow something and you can accomplish, whether it gets exactly the result you want or not, then you just do it again. And it's going to finally, like you're saying, it's going to get the result that we're looking for, but you just can't give up, and you just have to keep, doing that. So that was really good what you shared, and made me think,
thank you.
where we are, where I am.
So what kind of goals do we want to make? What is it, Sandy? Go ahead.
I
honey.
wanted to ask Cindy, because I know that you've got a lot of people that you have signed up under you. I have people that I qualified like I was supposed to. They've watched the videos, they've done, their thing, and we've sent them the 5-day supply, and they haven't put the patches on. And every time you text or call and say, hey, let's put your patches on. Have you tried them? No, I can't today. I'm sick, or this or that or the other. I have 4 people that have literally watched all the videos and are interested in everything, but they refuse to start doing the patches. How do you get them to do the patches?
Well, I think if they won't even put the patches on, they're not as interested as you may have thought. Or maybe we ask another question and say, are you going to put the patches on? I mean, again, they could tell you that and then not do it.
Right.
But, I really, these are really amazing, and, I want you to try them. But if you're not ready, that's okay. Give them I've got other people that want these. So, I mean, make it to where, it's like, don't just be too free with them to just, act like, here we go. If they're not even going to wear them, that's so, I know that it's very frustrating. I've had that too, though, Sandy. I've had people, oh yeah, yay. And then I call them back. I'm like, hey, you got them? And I hadn't really watched that other one, or, so I'm just saying, I think it happens to everybody. I think this is, but I just want to make more vetting. It's kind of like Marcy, I think, talked about how to vet better, and to ask more questions, and to really get at, and it's okay if they're not ready. That's not anything you've done, that you haven't done anything wrong, or you hadn't said, it's not that you didn't say the exact right thing that made them want to, you go, oh, yes, you know what I'm saying? But just move on. You've got your list, just move on, but just maybe not be as free with them if they're not gonna. I don't know.
These kind of vetted them. A couple of these people have the same kind of lifestyle that I do, or they have so much going on. So those 2 I get. The other 2, I'm like,
Yeah.
So one thing I've started doing differently is when I, and this is just moving forward, before I send the patches out now, I say, okay, I'll be calling you on Monday. You should have your patches by Monday. I will call you on Tuesday. What time are you available? And I get an appointment right that moment. And so I'll be calling you at X time. You want to get your calendar out and write that down, and we'll talk then. And then they see my intention is, I'm making an appointment because this is my business. I'm not just sending you some stamps in the mail for you to use on your, at your convenience. I'm sending you something that I'm expecting a return in. And then if they're not willing to do that, I'm like, well, or I'll say something like, well, when I get the patches, when I send the patches out, which should be here real soon, I'd like to go ahead and make an appointment with you for that.
You're
Right?
being treated as a
Right.
professional. I think that's
Yeah.
so and you have to see yourself like that. You really are, you're a professional as far as you're helping,
Right.
and so just like anybody else, your doctor's appointment, we're not doctors, but you get a follow-up to see how it's going. But I think when you set that perception of you too, you know what I'm saying? You're kind of setting up an expectation, and Donna's like getting the appointment afterwards to say, this is my business. I'm not just, I am a nice person and I want to help, but I'm sending you something for a reason.
Yeah.
And, right? Oh, that's
And
good.
so it's all about making the next appointment. Every time we talk with someone about what an intention,
Mhm.
and this is stuff I'm learning, y'all. This is stuff I'm growing in. I'm not the same person I was last year when I started. I'm not the same person I was 3 months ago. What I said 4 months ago, I might be doing completely different today. So if you think I'm moving and changing, I am. I'm moving, like Darren used to say years ago, well, I'm not going to believe the same thing I believe today, a year from now. So don't cling to it, because I'm going to keep evolving. So let's
Right.
make every person, let's make an appointment. But
Mhm.
then don't beat yourself up if they don't respond the way you want them to, or you need them to, or you expect them to.
You know what?
And
Go
don't condemn them either.
Mhm. Yeah.
Many people say one thing, but on the inside, they have other things happening that you don't know anything about. They're not going to share with you, and it's nothing to do with you.
Right. Right. I had it drop into me when you said that if they're not willing to make that follow-up appointment on that day or whatever, just say, well, what day would you like to speak with me? And I'll mail the patches appropriately so they'll arrive there at the time of our appointment.
Yeah, and then be quiet and listen and see where they're at. Because if they're, well, I don't really know that I'm ready to try them, you say, okay, no worries. How about I call you next month? And just with a smile on your face, hey, I'll
Right.
call you next month. It's okay. I'm not after the sale. I'm here to serve you. I bless you. And you just write it on
Rock
you,
on.
write it in your book, in your
Right.
calendar. And see, this is the thing. Some people don't use their phone as their calendar. I have both. I have my phone and I have a calendar that I'm beginning to use, but this phone is with me most of the time. Now, Marcy uses her calendar, which I did get one for this year. And then I realized it didn't start until July. So I'm like, really? But anyway, it has hour by hour.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I don't have
I've
anything
used that.
yet, but it's just an hour by hour, almost like a teacher book, right? An appointment book. And so that's where if you're a paper person and you don't use your phone for that, then make sure it's something you can fit in your purse and take with you. Because listen, when you work your business in your nooks and crannies, you need your business with you in your nooks and your crannies. You need it with you. And so block out, from 7 to 10 with a pencil, I'm going to be cleaning the house.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then if, let's say, for instance, something happens, you're not able to clean house in that time and you do something else. Well, guess what? You just move the block to another day. You don't condemn yourself. You don't beat yourself up. Listen, I've learned so much from Craig. Listen to him. Because I'm like, well, what do you do at the end of the day, Craig? I mean, I'm telling you, I wake up in the morning and his phone, he's got 100 emails. Just happened overnight because it's a global company. I'm like, what do you do? That's why when he gets up, he's on his knees, he gets dressed, he kisses me goodbye, and he goes straight to answering his emails, and he gets them filed away right then. So I'm learning, do it right that moment. Like I've had 35 messages before waiting for me to get to. Why? Because I literally could not. But then I start plotting away one at a time, one at a time. Right now I have this many messages, that are already waiting for me from just this morning. And so, but this is my business. So I have to respond. I can't be afraid.
Right.
I look at some of these things. I'm like, dang, what do they want? I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Are they gonna yell at me? Are they gonna, are they gonna encourage me? Or are they gonna take up 12 hours of my time? Oh, I mean, I'm just being honest. We all are, let's keep it real, right? And so I try to do the hardest one first.
Good.
I just click on that. I'm like, okay. And I have my pen and pad ready. So I'm not doing it in the car while I'm doing 12 other things, because then I'm not going to remember to go back to it. And this is our money.
Right.
And this is people's lives. Okay, Dawn, got what you got? And we have about 7 minutes and then we're going to wrap it up.
I'm good.
No?
Thank you. This has been great.
Good. So let me ask you
Thank
y'all a
you.
question. Do we have goals for this week? My goal is to organize y'all. That's my goal. My goal is I have my my left side and my right side. For those of you as well as whoever else wants to start over, start with a build, say, hey, I want to work with such and such and which, then I'm going to write you down and I'm going to get your list from you. And we're going to start moving and grooving to help make calls, et cetera. But it's going to be done. It has to be done in a way where other people are involved as well, because if it's just me,
That won't work.
and it may not work, because
Sure.
what if I'm not available, right?
Mhm.
So this is the thing. Many people in our businesses, whether we're in the corporate world or whether we are in this kind of world, many of us have many different personalities. There are many people that have a conflict with my personality, because I'm very strong and I'm very to the point and I'm not tap dancing around things, right? So some people have issues with that. Well, they'll find someone else that they want to work with, right? I don't care, because this is a thing. I have no ego in any of this. If you don't want to work with me, Sarah, find some, but at least work with somebody who's going to help you make money. If you like their personality better, but they're not closing for you, you might want to turn to the one that has a stronger personality that's going to close for you. Because if you make it about personality and not about what we're there to with our intention, then we're all going to lose out.
Mhm.
Right.
No, this is not personal, but yet it's personal.
And
If-
I need to put that on the wall, because my feelings are usually right here.
I know.
And it defeats me a lot of times.
It
Yeah.
does. Well, look at it this way. I know personally, some of the times I had where I could have given up. I told y'all there were 4 specific times, and one of them was recently, actually, even after making executive director. It was recent, and it wasn't having to do with anything but me. I was asking God, do I have the courage to move forward? Do I have the courage to go after 50,000 more points and become presidential director? Do I have the courage of what it takes to get my life in order, to get my thoughts in order, to get my teams in order? Do I have the courage to say, no, I'm sorry, I can't meet at that time. I have to do it next week at 9 a.m. Are you available then? Do I have the courage to not go, oh my God, I got to do it right now in a second. Or they're not going to like me. Do I have the courage to make this a business and really move forward to help others in their incomes? And some people, listen, Linda's a great example right now. She will get to a place where she can do all this. The woman has done more multi-level marketing companies than any of us have. And she has great influence, and she has a huge network of people. This woman who lives in a town of 2,500 people. Do not make an assumption that someone that you know won't be helpful for you. They will be. Your runner may not be somebody who has 50,000 people in their downline. Instead, it might be they have 50,000 people that they know across the world that need help.
Right.
So don't make it about what you see, and just continue to share from a heart that wants to help people. That's going to serve, and then that's going to build your income as well. Okay.
Mhm.
And so Sandy, I want you to get how your body works, how you works. I would have one book for training like this,
Mhm.
a cheap little book. And I would have.
Those are 50 cents at Target, just so you know. I just
That's
bought,
right.
they're 50 cents. Yeah, different colors.
Oh, awesome. I spent $1 for mine at the Dollar Tree.
Okay, there.
So thank you. I'll be going there because I bought 12 of them at one time and they were only dark. I'm like, really? So that's why I have tape on them and I've written on them. But I'm like, I don't care, God.
Yeah.
I'm doing what's cheapest because I don't have to have anything fancy, just like
Well,
the
if-
counselor, you know?
If you go, get me 10 of them. Okay.
Yeah, the Target thing. Well, I'm not
The
leaving
Target.
today. Now,
Okay.
so if I were you, I would just have a left side and a right side, because you are indeed, Sandy, going to build. You are. And eventually you are going to have someone that rises up and says, can I share this? And you're like, sure, I'll help you share it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you want to build a business, and blow them away and freak them out because they don't want to have a business, because
Right.
it intimidates them, because they're like, I don't know. I don't know. I just want to share the patches. Meet every person where they are.
Okay.
And what I tell people, I said, you know what? I want to share the patches. I'm here to serve you. And you just happen to be able to purchase it from me. So I'm going to sell you at the same time. And I'm just honest. You're going to have to buy it from somebody. It might as well be from me. And I tell people, this is not, even though I have a website, we deal one-on-one with people, because that's how David Schmidt wants us to do. He wants us to help people and have relationships with people. So I'm here to serve you. And that's the truth. And so anyway, that's what I would do, just one left and one right. That
Okay.
way in your mind, and if it works better to have just one, then just have one. I had one.
No, that doesn't work for me. I'm like you. I make one and I say, this is going to be my list one. And then I end up grabbing it and taking notes on Marcy's calls or on the Zoom
Right.
calls. And I'm like, what the heck? I ruined my book.
So training, you didn't ruin
Right.
anything, you just have it. So tear it out and stick it somewhere. But here's training. Here's my personal list. And then I have left side, right side. This may serve somebody for a year. You don't know, right? And then I have Linda's list.
Yeah. Whoever you have that's going.
And if I know Cindy's been sharing, when she has someone who really intentionally wants to build, then I will have a Lori list, which is her immediate upline, and Lori and Cindy and Paul and all of them, I'll put all of them in there, and whoever wants to build, I'll work with them that way. But I'm waiting to know, because Cindy has some people poised. They're poised. But for instance, one of the people that she has is going to be kind of like Linda. She's got a lot of children. She has a lot of responsibilities, and she honestly doesn't have time to sit at a computer and put in forms. So I put in every form for Linda for right now. And that's okay with me. And I told her, I said, one day you'll do this, or you may do it for somebody else. Right now, it's my honor. Okay. So just don't ever let it be an inconvenience for you to take orders for somebody else, because that's their income and that's your income and that's your entire team's income.
Yes.
It's an entire team. It's not just about you and not just about them either. And if you
Right.
keep it like that, then it is a business, but yet at the same time, it is serving. And at the same time, yes, you get to sell, and yes, you get to follow up, and you're going to make mistakes. Oh my gosh. I wish I purchased something for my mentor who's very ill. And then I accidentally charged their credit card for that package. I forgot. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, I got 12 other things I do. And I literally just went through, got that credit card, and I'm like, I panicked mode. And I had to call LifeWave. I'm like, oh, excuse me, can I please have an emergency refund? And it's still going to take like 3 or 4 days, right? I explained what happened, that they've got cancer, all these different things. And she said, I will walk in there. And they called me back and said, we have got our emergency team on. I said, thank you so much. I texted and I sent a voice message to them. I said, please forgive me. I'm so sorry. And thank God they graciously said, it is no worry. I'm not concerned about this. Thank you so much. And I made sure I put their credit card in for the monthly and went forward. But I'm not going to let that dig at me. I'm not going to make that afraid for me to be afraid to make the next order. I'm not going to think, oh my God, I'm going to make another mistake. I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm just going to move forward.
Right.
So
Can I say one thing? I think all of us just got to get out of our own heads. Get out of your head, and use this as personal development. That's the one thing in these kind of companies. This is the main thing you'll get. Sandy, I'm just looking at you, and you're got so much, and just get out of your head. Just quit worrying about everything. Just enjoy. You're such a fun, just be you. Just let all that other stuff go. Like, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to say it just right. Just be you, but don't be worried about it. Just be joyful about what it's done. And, you know, if they don't want it, they're stupid, you know, whatever, just let them go.
You're right.
Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, you're stupid or whatever.
Right.
Put your nirvana patch on so you don't act like a bitch. Oh,
And
this is
be
recorded.
happy.
Oops.
It is.
Sorry.
Oh,
Uh-oh,
God.
sorry.
But that,
But I'm just saying, you know, make sure that's
Sorry,
on.
not sorry.
Oops, sorry. But I mean, you know, I just think that's what, you know, this is, we're all struggling with that, whether we say it or not. It's what you do when you do these kind of bit, because you deal with people. We love people, but they're annoying sometimes. They're
yes.
hard.
Yeah.
Okay. But we love people, but they're hard. And
Yes.
so, and we take it personally, and we just, you can't, this will be the greatest thing to work that out of, it works it out of you, or you'll
I
just be
hope so.
miserable all the time. It is. I'm telling you, it is going to. You're going to tell us one day, oh my gosh, today someone did that. And I just kind of laughed it off and went on. And that is going to be a huge, like, I wouldn't view that as a huge win in my own life
No.
when we do that. So anyway, I just really
Amen.
believe
Thank
you need to believe that. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
You too,
So
Jennifer.
all of us here, all of us, I'm talking to myself, I'm preaching to the
you.
choir here. So all of us need to
God.
hear that again and again, I think. So
Right. No, I agree. Hey, listen, our time is up and I don't
Okay.
want y'all too long.
Nice to meet you, Dawn.
Nice to meet you too, Sandy.
Yes, I'm going to pray for us if that's okay. I know it's not everyone's jam, and just for recording purposes, however you want to pray is up to you. And I bless you in your prayers and in the relationship you have with the one who created you. And I'm going to bless us. So I believe that we have a father of all humanity and a father who created the universe. I personally believe that the universe didn't create itself. I believe that we have the Father, and that here's the Father, and here's the universe, and here are us. And we're all inside the one who made us. And so I just come with that intention, and you come with your own intention. And so, Father, we just thank you for who you are and what you've done and what it means. We thank you that you have intention to increase our hearts, our minds, our souls, our spirits. And God, we receive this time to personally develop our relationships with ourselves, and to hear you, and to be able to move forward how you want us to move forward. So thank you. You'll give us clarity as you get this, as you light up our steps. Woohoo.
Yes.
Amen. Amen. I bless you guys. I'm going to stop recording.